Uh, well.
Heyo!
We are back.
We are.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 10 of Allegedly Adults. I am Steven, and joining me, as always, is the man to be married in about a month and a half.
That's
Ladies
so
and
crazy
gentlemen,
to say.
that is Jordan.
What's up, y'all?
What's going on, man?
Oh, just fooling and fooling, I guess.
How's life?
Oh, life is wonderful. Life is absolutely wonderful. Like you said, wedding in about 2 months. I'd call it 2 months. And then just had the bachelor party. Thank you for attending as well. We had a great time down in St. Louis, and
St.
yeah,
Louis,
it
stomping
was
in my Air Force Ones. All right, man. What are we talking about today?
we got a fun one. We're gonna be talking about our 10 best video games of all time. And we waited a little bit on this one, but we got NBA 2K coming out pretty soon, and then we got, Call of Duty going to be coming out after that. We got a lot of games that this is video game season, so I feel like this is a good time to do this. So, without further ado, how we're going to do this is we're going to go 10 all the way to 2, give you an honorable mention, and then we'll go number 1. So, Steve, why don't you do the honors and give us your 10th best video game of all time?
Number 10. Gotta go with and one Street Ball.
Okay, yeah, there we go.
Man, the amount of times I played that game as a kid, not only on the PS2, but also on the Xbox. I have
Mm-hmm.
owned that game on two separate occasions.
Yep.
Once as a kid, and then once in high school because I bought it for the Xbox. And
Who was your
it,
who was your go-to?
man, so honestly, my go-to was a guy that I don't think was well known to just your casual and one street ball watcher. Prime Objective. That
Mm-hmm.
was his name. He was a
Okay.
G in that game. But obviously, I would run with Hot Sauce or the Professor, Escalade. There's another guy, Larry Legend, that was cold. Baby Shack. There's so many cool players on that game. And if you like basketball, if you like street ball, like that was the most fun game.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I
Like,
uh I actually I admittedly didn't play it all that much because I got into basketball not really around like the street ball era. So I
mhm.
didn't know that one as much. But I do remember, I think you probably had the game when I would come over to your house.
Oh yeah.
So I've definitely played it. And anything street ball, like anything street ball is awesome.
See, as a kid, I didn't own too many games. I rented a lot of my games.
Shout out to Blockbuster. Shout out to Family Video.
Mammoth Video. But yeah, I rented a lot of my games. So if I owned the game, that means I really, really liked it because I didn't get too many, chances to own a game. So when I did, I made sure it was a game that I really liked, and that was
Well,
one I really liked.
dude, and kids these days, they don't know about renting games.
Oh no,
They don't know anything about that.
dude, telling you, bro, Friday night comes around, mom's taking you to the video store. I don't know about you, but I would get one movie and one game.
Oh, I got 2 games. I don't need a movie. I got games to play.
Have it for the weekend, and then got to make sure you return it on Monday.
And
Don't
I'm
get
gonna
that
be
fee.
honest. I was a little bit of a turd, we'll say, when I was a kid, and I would like when I liked the game so much, like I would hide it because I didn't understand. I didn't understand money, so it was like, I like this game. I don't want my mom to take it back, so I hide it. She found it every single time. It's almost like she knew, like this dude's about to try to hide this game and try to pull one out on me.
Yeah,
Never
bro.
worked.
The worst though is when you go to the video store wanting to rent a game, especially one that just came out, and then they're all gone. No
Yep.
copies available. So you gotta
Nothing.
wait until the next week and try again. And then if it's not
Hmm.
available, gotta wait again another week. Oh man,
Or the worst
worst
was
feeling.
like, I don't know. but like return day, because my mom took me everywhere. So like when she went to return the stuff and she didn't feel like getting anything, and I'm like, "Mom, I just want another game." She's like, "Nah, you just had one. We're
Yeah.
not doing that right now. It's return day." Ugh.
But yeah, man. And one street ball. That's my number 10.
All right. All right. Well, for mine, this was a Christmas gift, and this was Guitar Hero 3.
Oh man. What a throwback. Is that Legends of Rock?
No, that's just good. What was it? Legends of Rock? I'm not sure. I know it had Slash on the cover. It
I think it was Legends of Rock.
okay, yeah. But all I remember is like obviously like Slow Ride, Talk Dirty to Me, Cult of Personality.
Look
Bro.
in my eyes. Shout out CM Punk.
I I could probably still 100% that song. And I haven't all the songs were bangers on that game. Every single one of them. I cannot tell you the amount of hours. Kids, if you're listening, at this time, Guitar Hero was like the coolest thing in the world.
Dude, it
Like
was running the streets
swept
easily.
the nation.
Dude, those were crazy summers, those Guitar Hero summers, bro.
And then you get on YouTube and you see some kid just like,
Like
and anybody that's played that game knows exactly what song I was just talking about. Through the Fire and Flames,
right.
the hardest song on the game. And you're
100%
just like,
that bad boy.
absolutely, like you're just watching some 12-year-old on YouTube who just 100%ed it on expert. He's just holding this like hammer or whatever they were called. And you'd be on there on Slow Ride on easy, bah, 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 just trying to get it down.
Oh man. Guitar Hero is so much fun. You ever play a Rock Band?
I did. Yeah, my so I always had uh Guitar Hero. I don't know why I just brain farted. I always had Guitar Hero, and then when I went to my mom's house, she had Rock Band. Like her and my dad,
Okay.
they always had a Rock
Yeah.
Band. So that's where I got my Rock Band chops in. Loved the drums, and
Drums are
obviously
fun.
we had the Beatles Rock Band too, which was actually
Oh wow.
kind of sick. And it'd be cool. Like my dad would be playing the drums, my mom would be playing like the guitar or the bass or something. I'd be singing. We're a whole
Good
little
times,
family
bro.
band. Yep.
Good times, bro. Those are the games, man. I wish they still made them, especially the way they used to be. I know like Fortnite kind of has their own variation of it, which isn't bad, honestly. It's
Yeah.
just you don't have the guitar controller or like the drums or anything like that anymore.
And I think they still make the games, but it's just, there's only so many things you can do with it.
I mean,
I'm
if
not
you're
trying
able to get,
to, but there's only so much. I mean, there's only so much like popular music that you can go through too. Like, I'm not trying to play Sabrina Carpenter on the bass. Like, so what you got? What's your number 9, sir?
number 9. Shout out to all my wrestling fans out there, because
Ooh.
SmackDown versus Raw. We'll just say from 2005 to about 2009.
Golden age of
We'll
wrestling
just
games,
we'll
dog.
we'll just say that, like that era right there.
Yup.
I I think the first one I owned was 2005. I used to rent like all of the WrestleMania or like SmackDown Here Comes the Pain. And then I think I was like 6 years old when I finally got my own PS2. And the very first game I got was SmackDown versus Raw. I'll
Oh
never
yeah,
forget that.
doesn't surprise me, and I think a lot of people will like if you ask a lot of people what their top 10 PS2 games are, SmackDown versus Raw is on that list.
So much fun, dude. The worst part though, I didn't have a memory card for the longest time. So like if I would do career mode or try to unlock people,
Yep.
it was wraps. Like I would have to do it all over again the next time I played.
You're just going through the opening sequence
Literally,
every time.
literally, bro. It was tough out there.
Like
But
you
yeah, man.
leave the system on, and then your mom comes through and like turns it off because she thought you forgot. You're like, no.
Oh man. But yeah, man,
Uh,
I love those games. Honestly, I would still play them today if I
oh,
had a
absolutely.
PS2.
I'm not even that big a wrestling fan, and I loved those games.
Oh yeah. gonna have all the different match types on there. Hell in a Cell, Royal Rumble, TLC, all the good
Just
stuff, bro.
flying
And that
around.
was prime time when John
Mhm.
Cena, The Undertaker, Kurt Angle, Rey Mysterio, all those guys were heavy hitters going through their
Absolutely.
golden years. But yeah,
Well,
that's number 9 for me.
funny that you went with that. No, sorry, I was looking at number 8. Never mind. I almost got ahead of myself. I almost got ahead of myself. But number 9, I got Need for Speed Carbon.
Ooh, I remember that game.
Need
I
for
remember
Speed
that.
Carbon. What that's like. I've played a lot of Need for Speed games. That is like far and away. I think the only other one is one that like I might bring up later. Not on my list, but the only other one would be like Need for Speed Most Wanted. Because I think a lot of people liked that game. That was the one where it was like the bounty list and you had to like work
Hmm.
your way up. Do you remember that one with the blue
Yep.
BMW? And then Need for Speed Carbon. There was just something about the story mode on that game that I really liked, and it was really hard. Like it was actually hard. I remember. Oh my god, whoever dude was. It's been so long since I played it, but whoever the dude was that drove the Audi R8, it was like the final boss in that game. When you had to go up against him and like call him out and like beat him at his own game, there was this cliff that you would fall off if you took a turn too too sharp or too
Hmm.
fast. But also, if you slowed down even a little bit, that dude was right past it. Like he was gone. So the amount of times that I crashed off that cliff and my TV almost ended up in the front yard, like, oh
He
my
wasn't
God.
having it.
Yep, but those are like my favorite games. The ones that I just like I can't beat it, and I just have to keep trying and trying and trying, and eventually, like that's a high that you
Yeah.
just chase for the rest of your life.
Yeah, bro. Those racing games, there were a lot of fun ones back in the day, bro.
Absolutely,
Like
yeah.
all the Need for Speeds. I hope I'm not
Midnight
spoiling.
Club.
I was gonna say Midnight Club Los Angeles. You used to be able to play online with your boys on that. Oh,
I
bro,
didn't
that
know
was
that.
so much fun.
And
Shout
like
out
going through,
Zach. I don't know if
going,
he remembers this, but we used to do that all the time.
we would always like customize a car and then like race against each
Hmm.
other. That was
Yeah,
kind of what we would do.
yeah. And then there's another one, Burnout Paradise. You ever play that one?
I played
That's
Burnout. I don't remember if that's the one that I had.
the theme song is Paradise City. So I don't know if that rings a bell.
No.
No, but that game was so much fun because you could straight up just almost so you would flip your car. Like there's a little game mode inside the game where you could like flip your car and then you keep getting points for everything you crash into. It was so ridiculous, but it was so much fun.
I remember
Yeah, I love that game.
there was this one racing game that I had called LA Rush. I It wouldn't surprise me at all if you didn't have it. I honestly think I got it at Dollar General.
No, 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 no.
Like the Rush games were popular. Like I know that they had like N64 games, but this was a PS2 game. And I remember there was a cheat because all the cars would be locked and like obviously you unlock cars as you go,
Hmm.
but all the locked cars you would hit X on the PS2 controller, you'd unplug your controller, plug it back in, hit X, and then hit triangle to go back, and you'd have the car. I'll never forget that. Did it so many times.
Bro, like how random is that?
It was so random that I remember that.
Like who finds that out?
But I also remember there was a money or like there was some other sort of cheat. Up, down, left, right, circle, X, R2, up. That was the cheat code.
He remembers the Chico. That's crazy.
I remember the cheat code. I think that was either like money or like whatever it was, but that was definitely the cheat code.
You remember little cheat code books you would get from like the book fair in school? Bro, I think I
Absolutely.
still have one of them somewhere.
Dude, my cousin had this N64 that he gave me when I was like a little kid, and he
Hmm.
had that Game Shark thing that would plug into the top. Like you plug it into the N64 and then you plug the game on top of that, and it had every cheat for like every game.
That's
I
crazy.
can't even imagine how much that costs. Like,
Oh, dude, I don't know.
but this was also back when. things were affordable. So, you know.
Number 8.
Number 8, what you got?
Oh man, this game, yeah, Dragon Ball Z Budokai. So it was,
Never played this.
gosh, what this game was, you could only be Super Saiyan 1 in this game. This is like the first 3 sagas of Dragon Ball, so before anybody was really like popping off like that. Actually, that's a lie. I think you'd be Super Saiyan 2. But yeah, it so much fun. It was basically just one-on-one fighting. And you would go
Gotcha.
through the story of Dragon Ball Z throughout the first 3 sagas. And you could only unlock maybe like, I don't know, 16 or 17 characters or something like that. But
Like all
it
the
was,
OGs, right?
yeah, yeah. But it was so much fun, especially like for its time, its graphics weren't terrible. Like they did a pretty good job with the 3D graphics.
Well, and that's the beauty of having a show that style of animation, though,
Mm.
is because you don't have to make it look like super realistic, at least.
Yeah. And then the story mode was so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, any Dragon Ball Z game in that Budokai series, honestly, like Budokai 2, Budokai Tenkaichi 1, 2, and 3, those games are always gonna have a special place in my heart just because I played them all the time and
Yeah.
it was one of my favorite combat games for sure. The fighting was way too much fun. So I used to have a family member who would basically beat the game for me, just unlock all the characters,
Nice.
and then we would go and play, and I'd get my ass kicked until
Yeah.
I came of age to whip some ass. But
Yeah, you got to turn the sliders. You got to turn the sliders all the way up when you're a kid.
yeah, man, Dragon Ball Z Budokai, I'll never forget those days.
Moving on, my number 8. I
But
don't know
sir,
don't know if you remember playing this with me, but it's another PS2 game, SSX Tricky.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Yep.
What's crazy is I don't remember playing it with you.
You don't remember playing it with me?
I swear I don't.
Cause that was the game. Like I had like a Madden game, I had a 2K game, and then I had SSX Tricky, which like that game was so much fun. Anybody that doesn't know what like the tricky games are, it's snowboarding. And like you would either do races or you just like go through an entire map and try to get as many points. It's basically like Tony Hawk, but for skateboarding. And the characters were so awesome. The maps and the levels were insane. Like all the courses and different places you could go through. The boards were sick. Like it was such a great game. The gameplay was awesome. Like it was super fast paced and like combo based too. It was so much fun.
Yeah, I don't remember playing it that much. Like, I know I played the game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember playing it with you. I played it at like my mom's friend's house. I know, I'm sorry.
Breaking my
My
heart.
mom's friend's house, her boyfriend had the game. I remember playing it with him, but yeah, bro, I really
Mm-hmm.
don't.
Hmm.
Those games were always fun though. Like the
Oh
snowboarding, the
yeah.
skateboarding, the motocross, all the X game
Yeah.
stuff, bro. Like
MX versus ATV.
legendary stuff right there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Those were like, see, that was the game that I always rented. Like, I never had one, but I always rented like the motocross games and all that
Mhm.
stuff.
You get lost in those games for hours, bro.
Just driving around, like, just like riding your
Literally,
dirt bike around.
literally. But yeah, I'm gonna look up that game on YouTube because see if it like brings back some memories. Because I remember playing it, but I don't remember too many details about it.
It will. If you've ever played that game even a few times, it'll bring
Yeah.
up some memories for sure.
All right, number 7. You're gonna like this one because I know you remember playing this game. NBA Street Volume 2. Yes. Yes.
Hey.
Yes.
Yo.
Classic, bro. Classic. Oh man. I could recite the whole intro right now. It's that prominent in my mind.
Dude, that game was so sick. Like the aesthetic of the game was sick.
Hmm.
It was,
Just
you know,
everything about it was good, bro. Like
like
it had my voice.
everything. So no, go
No,
ahead.
no, no. You're good. You're good. You're good.
I was gonna say anything good about NBA Street 1 they did better in NBA Street 2 in
Yes.
every single way.
And that was one of the few games where you could actually use Michael Jordan.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because he, before 2K11, good luck finding Michael Jordan in an NBA game.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it's like everything about that game was so cool. The gameplay was so much fun. The soundtrack was great. The
Yep.
characters were amazing.
And then you
It,
get like a little basketball history lesson before the game started because it'd be like a different legend, and then
mhm,
you know, there's their nickname. So like that's how a lot of us like learned the legends of the game too. Was they
mhm.
made it cool, even if it was like Elvin Hayes. Like I'm sorry, nobody's like geeking over Elvin Hayes, but like back then, if he had like a cool nickname or whatever, that it made it fun. It made it cool.
Was now I can't remember. Was in this game, could you set the net on fire, or was that NBA Ballers? I can't remember which one it was. I
I
want to say it was this one.
I don't. I know, like, if you had a dunk to end the game, it would break the rim. I remember
Mm.
that. Or maybe it had to be like either a lob or a game breaker. But I want to say no, just a dunk would break the rim at the end of the game. But I don't know about fire.
Because you had to fill, I know you had to fill up like the three little microphones, right? There was like three little microphones you had to fill up before you could get your, like you said,
The game breaker.
yeah,
It was up at the top. Like there
yeah.
was just a meter up at the top. Maybe it was microphones. I don't remember that. But yeah. And I think that game you could get a game breaker too. So it'd be like worth even more points.
Man, need to fire that game back up. Could I swear I have it somewhere. I don't know where, but it's somewhere.
I guarantee you do. You
But
need to
yeah,
bring that
NBA.
to the you need to bring that to the wedding, big dog. Because we're gonna get some shit popping
So
if you do
someone
that.
needs to provide a PlayStation 2. So I definitely
Oh
don't
yeah.
have that
I
anymore.
guarantee you one of my homies got a PlayStation.
Oh
We could
man,
probably make that happen.
that'd be dope though. We'll talk about that off camera. But yeah,
Absolutely.
NBA
Absolutely.
Street Volume 2,
Okay. So we're on number 7.
number 7.
Going with another PS2 game. If you're sensing a trend here, it's because it's the best console that's ever been made. Um, Going Madden '09 for the PS2.
Oh, when they had the rewind,
Yep.
was
Madden
that?
rewind.
Hold on,
No,
was
that might
on?
have been 11.
No, no, no. 2009. I know for a fact you could rewind that thing. I swear, because it had who's on? Was that Brett Favre on the cover?
Brett Favre was on the cover.
Yeah, yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Yeah, you could rewind because I remember
But
so many times I'd be getting my butt whooped by the computer and I'd be like, nope, rewind. Kick
yeah.
return for a touchdown? Nope, rewind.
Yep. Yep. And I straight up for the NFL Superstar mode where you had like a career and you were running back. I named him Mike Hart after the Michigan running back,
Yeah.
all-time leading rusher. I don't know if he still is. I don't know if Blake Corum took that over or not, but regardless, um, I played for the Cincinnati Bengals, and I was nice. I was out there killing people. Um, but yeah, in that game, like the graphics were so bad. Just thinking back on them now, they were so bad. The gameplay was probably horrible, but I had so much fun on that game. I remember I played that game a lot. That was
Yeah,
back
bro.
when Madden was fun.
Oh yeah. That was one of my favorite Madden. That honestly might be my favorite Madden.
Yeah.
That was I used to use LaDainian Tomlinson in that game all the time.
Mhm.
Cook.
I'll
Randy
be.
Moss, Cook.
I don't think that Madden's been fun since the PS2, aside from maybe a couple of years on the 4. Like Madden, like 15, 16, and 17, I feel like they kind of revived it a little bit, and those were good games. But Madden was so much better on the PS2. It just was.
Do you remember like NFL 2K? Like NFL 2K5 or like
You're out of your
2K6?
freaking mind if you don't think that I remember NFL 2K5. That
Dude.
is. mm,
Anywho, yeah, Madden '09.
Yep. Madden
Great
09.
pick. I like
What you
that.
got? So you're on number 6 now?
Number six. Yep.
Okay.
Number six. I just bunched these two together because I couldn't pick one, and they're both pretty similar to me. Black Ops 1 and 2. I
Okay.
know I want to say a lot of people prefer 2 over 1,
Hmm.
but I really loved 1.
One's a
Uh,
great game. One's
Used
a
to
great
rock
game.
the FAMAS, the
Hmm.
Galil, the was it the AK-74U?
Yeah, you just use all the overpowered guns in that
Well,
game.
duh. 12-year-olds,
Absolutely.
come on now.
Absolutely.
Um,
The
what was
FAMAS
it?
was so cracked on
Dude,
that game.
dude, I had that thing so tricked out. And that's when you can make your own emblem too.
Hmm.
Dog, I
Make your own emblem on Black Ops 2. The emblems got a little wild, but um,
Ah,
a lot of impressionable young minds on that one there.
yeah. But that was honestly one of my favorite parts though, is making the emblem. I would sit there for hours and just try to make some dope
Yep.
things from scratch. And then after a while, I was like, okay, now I want an Incredibles logo. Why? Because why not have the Incredibles logo?
Get on YouTube, watch how to make it.
Hmm. Yep. But yeah, I love those games. Firing Range, Nuketown, Summit. I can't think of another one, but those are like my go-to maps for
Yeah,
sure.
Black Ops 2, you had Raid,
Yep.
great
Yep.
map. Was the map on a ship. I'm not good at remembering map names. I just
Hmm.
remember what they were. But Black Ops 2 had some really fun, great maps.
Yeah, the Black Ops games are just fun. Like the first two were just so much fun. So much
Absolutely.
fun. And that was still during a time where you still had to kind of unlock titles,
Hmm.
you know,
Yep.
for your little calling card.
Yep.
I I know they kind of brought it back now, but I miss how it used to be.
It's not the
Cause that
same.
because that was part of your objective for playing the game. Like obviously you
Hmm.
go for camos and guns and stuff like that, but like if you get one of those calling cards that not many people have, you felt really cool. Like
Yeah, you did. Absolutely. That's what it was about. Like it didn't have all that extra
mhm.
item shop bull crap. You just played with what you had. And I remember like Black Ops 2 was the first game that had like DLC camos for guns and like a DLC gun. So
Yeah.
like yeah, I know that that kind of paved the way for the microtransactions and stuff, but that was like the way to do it. Like you had map packs that came out, you had a gun pack that came out. That was it for the whole year. Like you might have two or three map packs that took an hour and a half, not even an hour and a half, a whole day to download.
Yeah.
Like you start downloading it when you go to sleep and hope that it's ready by the time you wake
Mhm.
up. Black Ops and Black Ops 2 were some of the CODs that I played the most of, especially with the boys because we were, 14 years old and had nothing better to do.
Yeah. Those are great days, bro. Great days.
Speaking of COD, my number 6 is Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. And I know, like, I get it that MW2 in probably 99% of COD fans is higher up than MW3. I played MW3 way more. I had a lot of memories on that game. We played Search and Destroy every night until like 3 in the morning. One of my buddies was like top 1,000 in the entire world in Search and Destroy. He
That's
was
ridiculous.
he was insane. Yeah, we just had a great time on that. Like I remember not liking some of the maps, but for the most part, I liked all the maps. And then they actually had the 3v3 mode that we played a lot of. And that was a blast too. And I know they brought that back in different forms over the
Mhm.
years, but that was like the first time we got that, and that was a lot. The MSR, like one of the best snipers in COD history. Great guns. I think you had the ACR and like the P90, the MP7. All those guns were just cracked.
See, I remember buying MW3 like right when it dropped, but I don't remember playing it heavy. I think I still played MW2 a lot during that time
A lot of people do. I'm sure a lot of people do.
until people started to really hack MW2 to the point where you would get into a lobby, you would play a game, and by the end of the game, you would be the next prestige.
Yep.
Like that's when it was like, okay, I'll just stick on the new one, I guess.
Which like whatever,
Hmm.
like
Yeah.
leveling up. Do you remember how awesome prestiging used to be?
That
When you
was
would prestige,
everything,
you
bro.
thought you were the yeah, you thought you were the greatest person in the world the day you prestiged.
Dude, when you ask somebody like if they play COD, first question, what prestige are you?
What prestige are you? How
Like,
much do you play? How much do you really play?
how about it are you? Like,
Yep. What's a prestige? Can't talk to this. Can't talk to him.
oh man, I miss those days. Miss
So
those
many,
days.
so many 6-man parties loading in, just talking shit the entire time. Just having so much fun. But
Man,
we could,
I miss my Call of Duty boys, the ones that, you never met in real life, but you met on the game and you guys just hop on,
yep,
just go to work.
absolutely.
Miss them dudes, man.
You just meet somebody in a party and they're just your friend now. Like
Straight
it's
up, bro.
insane. I remember on MW3 we met this one dude. He used to tell the craziest stories. Probably all lies, but we're just cracking up at that dude. All right, so moving on to top five. Top five, top five, top five. Why don't you kick it off, Steve? What you got?
Well, you said MW3. I might as well say MW2.
Yep.
I mean, this was I played World at War a little bit before this, but this is the first COD that I owned and really sat down and played
Yep.
for a minute. And yes, I was that kid who would put the grenade launcher on the Scar H and just go to work.
Yeah, I think
And
you and
then
every other kid in the world.
and then my secondary would be the G18 akimbo. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or that,
Terminal.
bro, that was back when you could have a shotgun as a secondary.
Oh yeah. You could put in work, bro.
Like them Remington model 1887s
You
or whatever
could
that
put
were
in work.
you could akimbo those, snipe people across the map. Like
Intervention, bro. Intervention was different. And when
to
you
this
unlocked
day
the
though,
camo for the intervention, you felt so good, bro.
the intervention is it's got to be the best sniper in COD history.
Top tier.
Top,
Easy.
top tier,
Easy.
top
Easy.
tier. It's a
But
shame
yeah,
that there was no gold camo on that game because people deserve a gold intervention.
I'm trying to think what was like the big camo on that game.
Red Tiger and Blue Tiger, and then you had Autumn or the Fall camo or whatever.
I could have sworn there was one above those.
I
Because
think
I'm trying to think. Because I had the red tiger and blue tiger, but I know I did not get the like end all be all camo
I
on
think
them.
it I think it was Autumn. I think that's what it
Okay.
was.
Okay. But yeah, then that game had amazing maps. Obviously, like
That do not stand the test of time. I will tell you
I
that.
was gonna say, obviously in like the new Call of Duties, bringing them back, it doesn't hit the same
Well, the
at
game
all.
doesn't. It's a different game
Yeah,
now too.
but back then, like Terminal, Firing Range,
Mhm.
Afghan,
Oh yeah.
Vela,
Even like Wasteland. Like
Wasteland,
if you had noobs on or noob tubes on
oh,
Wasteland
Little
with
Tunnel.
1-man army pro, you were insane.
Yeah, you
Like
go to work, bro.
yep.
Straight up. And then
Got so many
speaking
videos.
of unlocking stuff, that COD had the best emblems and calling cards by far. There were so many to unlock, and they were all challenging to unlock. Like they weren't easy. Like
Yep.
there was a Burger Town one that everybody went for. And
Yep.
and then you could unlock the different titles when you like maxed out a weapon. So like
Mm-hmm.
if you maxed out the Scar H, you could get like in gold writing like the Scar H as your title. It was really
That
cool.
was gold camo back then. Like that's what that
Yeah,
was.
pretty much, bro. But
Um,
yeah, MW2, a lot of hours on that game.
absolutely. All right. Number 5, we already talked about actually. You want to take a guess on what it was?
What is it?
NBA Street Volume 2.
Two. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Number 5. We already said it. The game was it was just amazing. I'm so glad that we both had that on their list. When I wrote that on my list, I thought, I'm like, there's no way Steve doesn't have this on his list too. Because
100% on my
man,
list, bro.
that's just one of the best games ever made.
It really is. It really is. Like Volume 3 was solid too, but Volume 2 is different.
Top tier. Top
Different, bro.
tier. What you got for number 4?
Number 4. Okay. These next 4 games, honestly, on any given day, any one of them can be my number 1.
I agree. Absolutely.
Because this next game, bro, I played this thing all the time. 2003 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for the PS2.
Okay.
Bro, hours of my life have been spent on that game.
Mm-hmm.
So one of my favorite shows of all time was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from 2003, the cartoon. And then they dropped a game for it. And you could go through basically not every episode, but pretty much every storyline throughout that series. And that was each level was just the next storyline. So much fun. Graphics were awesome for 2003. Combat was amazing. They would incorporate scenes from the show in the game. So it's like as you're playing it, you're kind of watching the show as well.
Okay. Yeah.
It was
that's
really cool. Really, really cool. And then they came out with, I think, a second game and a third game, which were really fun too. But that first one just gets me in the feels.
I never played that game. I never got into the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that much, but that was also because it just was never on. Mm-hmm. Like, I wasn't hip, I guess.
That's a game that I think I'll definitely be purchasing one of these days, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. They're gonna make it so we can play those games eventually. Like somebody's gonna come out with something to where we can play them again.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So go crazy on that.
Number 4 for me is NBA 2K17. 2K17 was the 2K that got me into like the type of 2K that I play now, which is, obviously getting to my career, making your builds, hopping on the park or the rec or the pro-am or whatever it was at the time, and just playing with the homies. And I spent my senior year summer after, like, it was 2K. I was playing 2K the whole time. So many builds. I think the archetype system that they had back then. You were playmaker, shot creator, sharpshooter, lockdown, slasher. That's all you got. Yep. And it was such a we thought it was so good then, and it's so like bare bones to think of, putting yourself in a box like that, because we've been spoiled for so long with 2Ks where like everybody can just do everything. But that was a game where there were clearly defined roles, and like people played to their role, people played to their strengths, and they weren't, I feel like people were definitely selling a lot less on those games than they do now.
You had to be good to be good at that game.
You had to know basketball too, because not everybody you couldn't just run 5 out. I mean, you could, like if you built your team like that, you could, but you'd see slashers all the time. You'd see lockdown defenders all the time. And they didn't have it's a lockdown, but he's got an 85 3 ball. Like it was a lockdown with a 63 ball.
And if he hit from the corner, you were going nuts.
If he hit, you knew, we're not winning this game.
It's going to be a long game.
These dudes are different. But no, so 2K17, I have so many memories on that game. I think I had 1,500 park games played on that. I don't even want to know how many Rec Center and Pro-Am.
Check the hours.
Oh, no. I don't want to do that. We did that one time, and we don't ever need to do that again. Top 3.
We kind of touched on these types of games a little bit. This is definitely one of my all-time favorites. ATV Off-Road Fury.
Damn, that's number 3 for you?
Yes, bro. I used to play this so much. Not
Okay.
even the racing. I used to just free roam.
Yep.
And then whatever map you were on, there's a certain point where if you went too far, it would just throw you, like launch you and your
Yes,
guy
bro.
back. And
And
that was my objective every time.
yep, yep. You just find the freaking you
Yes,
find the wall and you launch yourself off that
dude.
thing.
And they had epic music in the game. So when it would happen, it would just be like the most cinematic, cool experience you could possibly see.
Slowly just
To
flying
some
away.
crazy rock music in the
Yep,
background. Yes, bro. It was so much fun, dude.
absolutely.
Like even Off-Road Fury 2, that was a lot of fun. I raced more on that one, but no, the first one, just literally free roam every map. Would spend easily 2 hours on it.
Yep.
No problem.
Those,
Yeah,
those were very
that's
fun games.
that's another one that I would like to own again.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. For
Easily.
sure. Number three for me is a game that I wish I could play for the first time again, and that is Elden Ring. I so Elden Ring is, I mean, Souls players, like, it's a Souls born game, so it's from software. Players of that game will tell you Elden Ring's easier than all the other Souls games. I don't care. I had never played a Souls game before. That was the hardest freaking game I have ever picked up in my entire life. And it took me, I don't know, a year to finally just like strap in and be like, all right, I'm getting through this thing if it's the last thing I do. And it actually took a guy at work that I, ended up becoming buddies with. His name Patty. Shout out to Patty if you're watching this.
Petty!
Patty! Patty's got the funniest laugh of all time. He goes, that's how he laughs. He loves when I do that. But no, he played the games, and then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give it another try because he was running through it again. So I was like, this will we'll have something to talk about, and I became obsessed. I think I put 26 hours in that game in 2 days. Like, that's insane.
Buddy.
That's insane.
Buddy, how do you sleep?
I didn't then. No, no, absolutely not. But no, and just the journey, the amount of customization, you can do whatever you freaking want to in that game. And it's so hard, and you're just banging your head against a proverbial wall until you finally get the high of beating the boss. And it's the greatest feeling. And I had games where I had physical reactions to beating a boss. Like where I would stand up, like, let's go! Like I would lose my freaking mind.
Start doing the Israel Adesanya.
Dude, I had one where it was, some people say it's one of the harder bosses in the game, Malekith. I don't know if anybody out there's played Elden Ring, but if you have, Malekith has a lot to deal with. It was either he was gonna hit me and I was dead, or I was hitting him and he was dead. And I had my big sword and I jumped up, swung over my shoulder, and in my chair I'm going, ah!
You
and
just turned, bro.
got the job done. And then I went back to work because I was on my lunch break. You can't imagine.
You come walking in height, like, let's go.
Bro, tell me that I didn't, because I 100% did. I walked in, I was like, walked over to Patty's desk, I was like, got it. Just walked away.
Patty probably started laughing.
Oh, he absolutely did.
Oh man. One day I'm gonna tap in. I
You
need
should.
to.
It's
I need
humbling.
to.
It's humbling. You
I
think you're a
definitely need to.
gamer until you play those type of games. Because I'm not like a gamer's gamer. Like I'm not in the weeds on like these indie games and like the games that like people. I just play what I think is fun. And Elden Ring was one of those games where it made me feel like, oh, like this is like I got into the story and like the lore with the game, because the same guy that wrote like the characters and the backstories, it's George R.R. Martin. So like the lore for that game was insane. The story is super cool. The bosses are crazy. Like Elden Ring's got everything.
Yeah. And I bet it's an interesting experience learning how to take a bunch of L's in a row in a game.
Mm-hmm.
because I don't know about you, but I hate losing, especially in games.
Me too.
So,
And that's one of those games where it's like it's so frustrating because it's like I know what I'm supposed to do,
mhm.
but I can't do it. like
It's not translating. Like,
because there's very small windows. Like they have their combos that they throw at you. There
mhm.
are very small windows that you can get in and do your thing. And
Yeah,
like if you miss that window and you try to force it, like you're dead. You're
it's
gonna die
tough
every
out
time.
here, bro.
Every single time.
It's tough out here.
Might as well just let the wheel come back around.
Good pick though. I like that.
Thank you.
I want to check out that Wukong game. Have you heard about
That
that?
game looks sick.
It looks amazing. I know nothing about it, but it just looks cool.
You know that's what Dragon Ball Z was based off of, right?
Really?
Yeah. He even flies in on a Nimbus cloud.
That's
Yeah. Because I think that's what Wukong and like the name and everything, that's I know they got Goku from it somehow. But you'll see it. I mean, if you ever play the game, you'll see it right away.
okay. Okay. Yeah, I might have to check that one out.
Wait, does it?
Maybe during that Black Friday sale that always happens.
Yep,
Maybe we'll tap in.
absolutely. All right, number two.
Well, for number two, why not go with the 2K game? I'm gonna give you one guess. You're not gonna get it right, but I'm gonna give you one guess.
2K5
You're so close.
or 2K6. Yeah.
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 2K6.
I knew you'd be freaking different and go with that, not go with any of the 2Ks that we played for years. We've spent way too much time on these games for you to not put any of the games that we have played together for the last 4 years.
Listen, I only really like one of them.
Me too.
And that one still it's not even in my top 20 for games. Like
I'm done, dog. I'm done. Get me out of here, dog.
like shout out to my Sharp on 2K20 putting in that work. Good little 70 piece, but nah, you're not making the top 20. I appreciate your assist. But no,
That's crazy.
2K6.
What were we doing it for?
I don't know. That's the time. Crazy time during that 2K.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Tell me why you like that game.
2K6 was the first 2K that I owned. And it was on my Xbox. The original Xbox.
Yep.
This is back when the Pistons were good. Bron was on the come up. Kobe was out of this world. KG was ticket. Shaq and D Wade, like it was so much fun. You could play 21 in that game. Like you know the game 20? Yeah, you could play 21 in that game.
I think you could never mind.
I mean, other 2Ks you could, like the early 2Ks you could, but then it stopped after a certain period of time. But yeah, I just remember spending so many hours on that game. I would turn the game sliders all the way up. I'd be the Pistons and I would play the Bobcats, and I would give them work every time.
You beat them like 350 to 10.
Literally get 30 steals with Chauncey Billups, 33s in transition
with like Ben Wallace.
It was so much fun.
There was nothing like turning the sliders up and hitting threes with Ben Wallace.
And like, if you did it now, you're like, "Am I doing this?" But as a kid, it was the coolest thing just to see that score just keep climbing and climbing and climbing.
I'm gonna be young again.
I know. And even like in that game, I used to spend so much time in the practice gym.
Yep.
Just shooting full court shots.
Full court shots, bro. Full court shots in the practice gym.
No reason at all. Just like, let's see if I can make it. Oh, I got it on the first try. Bet. All right. More work here's done.
Yep.
So much
There'd always be the Lakers in the practice facility with you. For some reason. Do you remember that?
Well, like, I think you could select the team on the other end, but like as a kid, you're not really thinking about that. You're just trying to figure out who you're gonna be.
Yeah.
Who you're gonna use. But yeah, that was the preset team, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, 2K6, one of the best 2Ks of all time.
Would you like me to give you my number two?
The 2K20.
2K20 apparently was a good 1,200 hours of my time wasted because certain somebody that I always played with apparently just didn't even like the game, which is wild. And
What
there
an
were
ass. Can't believe that guy.
a lot of memories that were made on that game. Just like Steve scoring 100 points in a rec center game.
Hold on. Correction. It was 74 on that game. I didn't score 100 until 22.
Well, all the times we just hopped in a rec center game, just the two of us, and completely took it over, and you'd have 60 points and I'd have 23 assists because I was just passing you the whole time. And to think that whole time he was sitting there thinking about a game that came out 14 years prior. Number two, NBA 2K20. What's your number one?
Well, thanks for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. It's been fun. We will never be recording another episode of the Allegedly Adults podcast again because our friendship is tarnished. I'm not even coming to the wedding anymore. That's how crazy this is. So yeah, you guys have a good one. Good night. No. Honorable mention, bro.
Yeah, honorable mention. Forgot about that one.
But just a preference. I am sorry.
It's okay.
Is it?
Yeah. You still played the game.
Hold on. Let's take a second. Let's take a second though. 2K20. The amazing neighborhood setup.
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh, don't patronize me.
No. It was an amazing neighborhood setup though.
It was.
Because
the builds were great too. The builds were fun.
The builds were awesome. And now it's a freaking maze just to get around everywhere.
Mm-hmm. So much that is being so many resources put into the wrong areas on 2K now. And like even back then they were. But 2K17, reason why that was on the list too, is because it was just about the gameplay. The clothes and stuff were in the menu. Like you could just hit start, go to the shop, buy clothes, put them on. Like you didn't have to mess around with like running over to the store, then leaving the store so you can hit start, loading up the appearance, going over to clothes. Like it wasn't all that. And even 2K
barbershop.
Yep. Like why do I have to pay VC to change the look of my character? We don't have to anymore, thank God. But to think that was a thing where they would charge 200 VC, a jump shot boost for a haircut.
Gotta get a fade, bro.
And heaven forbid you got the wrong one.
Gosh. Oh, man.
What you got for honorable mention?
You named it already.
Oh, did I?
You're probably gonna slap me through that computer too. Because it's another 2K that I like more than 2K20.
2K17?
2K5. That's
my honorable mention too.
Hey! We agree on something. Look at that. Clap it up. But yeah, bro. Ben Wallace on the cover.
Absolutely.
That was the
first 2K I ever played.
That's the first 2K I've ever played. I don't think that was the first basketball game I ever played. It's
probably not. Probably not.
But
I played it like NBA Jam before that.
I remember borrowing 2K5 from my uncle and just being enamored and just so encapsulated in just everything. Because this is when I was first really getting into basketball in general. So just to see how the game was played, all the different players, all of the different uniforms, the colors, just everything about it was so just
Oh, and the aesthetic of that, like the aesthetic of that game was so good. The menu was sick. Like when you would go to like pick out your teams and it like had the jersey and just like that whole setup, it was just it's beautiful.
Yes, bro. I I miss those days. That
I did
was
too. And shout out to NFL 2K5. I know we already touched on it, but like that game is probably the best football video game ever made, and I had a lot of fun on that game as well. So,
all right. Number
oh,
one. Number one.
numero uno.
No. Well, let's keep the theme of basketball going. Because my number one is a basketball game.
I think I know what it is.
You want to say it?
Would it be? No, it's your thing. Go ahead.
EA Sports NBA Live 2005.
Oh, I was wrong.
What were you going to say?
NBA Ballers Phenom.
Oh, no. That was a great game, though.
Yep. I remember you used to talk about that game a lot, but you also used to talk about NBA Live 05 a lot too. So
When you want to talk about a perfect basketball video game, you better mention NBA Live 2005. Carmelo Anthony as the cover star. The soundtrack was freaking fabulous. The greatest NBA All-Star Weekend game mode in all of basketball video games.
Not even close.
Bar.
Not even close.
The dunk contest was elite. The three-point contest was amazing. So many things to love about NBA Live. This is back when NBA Live was freaking phenomenal. Yep. You could honestly, like between 2005 and 2009 for NBA Live,
yep,
all of them are beautiful.
Yep.
But NBA Live 2005, I honestly think this was the first basketball game I played. Because I didn't play NBA Jam before this. It was NBA Live 2005. And then I think shortly after is when I played NBA 2K5, just to kind of see the difference between the two. And I ended up loving them both. But NBA Live 2005, another game I borrowed from my uncle. Shout out to my uncle for letting
your uncle
yourself borrow that game as well during that time.
Yep.
But yeah, NBA Live, the feel of NBA Live always just felt better to me than 2K, if I'm being honest.
At least back in the day,
yeah. Like I said, during that period of 2005 to 2009, I love those games so much.
For sure. Well,
did you ever tap into NBA Live?
Only at your house. I never had them for myself, no.
Yeah.
But my number one, you already said, Black Ops 2. Black Ops 2 is probably, when I think of a game and that feeling of being like a 13-year-old and it's 10:30 at night, middle of summer, and you know everybody's already on. You don't even have to hit anybody up. You don't got to text nobody. You just hop on the game and you already see people on. Black Ops 2, the aesthetic of Black Ops 2, the colors, the guns, the maps, the kill streaks, the game modes, like everything about that game, I loved it so much. The zombies on Black Ops 2, dog. Ooh.
And we didn't even touch on the game modes, like gun game, one in the chamber, sticks and stones. Those were amazing. What was that? It was jungle, right?
That was Black Ops 1.
Black Ops 1, okay.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't in both, though? They didn't bring it back?
No, I don't think they brought it back for Black Ops 2.
Okay. My bad. But still, the game modes, those are always fun.
Yeah. It's just like, and I mean, obviously, like, when you're a kid, you correlate how much you like something to also like the time of your life that you were in. That was just a really interesting time in life, just being like 12, 13 years old. I think, I can't remember what year the game came out. I'm about to look it up right now. But, yeah, Black Ops 2, for me, ultimate COD experience, just with parties of 6 rolling in, just absolutely decimating people. having the time of our lives. Did you play Black Ops 2, bro? I think you remember. Oh yeah, it was on yours too.
Yes, I did.
2012. So we were
We used
14.
we used to do a lot of I guess we did it on Black Ops 1 and Modern Warfare 2 as well, but we used to do a lot of quick scoping and no scoping and private
Trying to hit trick
matches.
shots and stuff
Yeah,
like that. Yep.
yeah, or like throwing knives for the last kill, like
Did you guys ever play
MV360 off something.
you ever play Michael Myers?
Yes,
Yep.
yes.
Yep.
Or I'm trying to think what else about that game I remember. You mentioned kill streaks. I remember if you got the dogs, you were that guy.
Yep. And then there was like this it's like warship thing that you would get.
Yeah.
And it was just and like the honing missile thing, like you'd be up in the sky and you could just like shoot controllable missiles at people. Um, but
To
yeah, like
this, the chopper gunner too.
Chopper Gunner, and then like Nuketown obviously was on that game as well. Raid.
Yeah. To this day, the most kills I've ever gotten in Call of Duty. I can't remember if it was Black Ops 1 or 2, but it was on Nuketown and it was during I want to say a domination game.
It was either Domination or Demolition because I remember
No,
Demolition used
demolition.
to.
Demolition.
Yep.
Yeah, it was demolition. 105 kills on Nuketown.
Demolition
Back
was
then,
yeah. Oh yeah.
back then that was like obviously you hop on Call of Duty today, like you can get 80s or 90s pretty consistently if you play the game enough. But like if you get those high number of kills as a kid back then, you thought you were that guy, bro.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I remember I used to cheese the system because I think Black Ops 2 was the first game that introduced like score streaks as opposed to kill streaks. Maybe it
Yeah.
wasn't the first game, but if you played kill confirmed and you just ran around and collected tags, you could get dogs without even get like technically you could get them without even getting a kill.
It wasn't there a perk that like reduced the amount you needed or whatever. I
Yep.
forget what it was called.
I can't remember what it was either, but it would drop it by like one. Yep.
Yeah, bro. Those are fun times.
Those were the days. Um, man, you wanna run through your list one more time for the people?
So we got and one street ball. We got SmackDown versus Raw 2005 to 2009. Dragon Ball Z Budokai, NBA Street Volume 2. We have Black Ops 1/2. We have Modern Warfare 2. We have 2003 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, ATV Off Road Fury. We have NBA 2K6, and then we have NBA Live 2005.
Hey, and I had Guitar Hero 3, Need for Speed Carbon, SSX Tricky, Madden 09 for the PS2, not PS3, the PS2. Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 3, NBA Street 2, NBA 2K17, Elden Ring, NBA 2K20, and Black Ops 2.
Mm-hmm.
I went for nostalgia on these.
Oh yeah.
Because
yeah.
I mean that's
current games, like
I'm not even gonna say they're bad, it's just maybe I don't like them as much as I used to. I don't know.
for me, I don't game as much as I used to.
Mm-hmm.
And B, yeah, I guess I don't like them as much. Well, maybe that's goes hand in hand with me not gaming as much as I used to because I don't enjoy the games as much as I used to. But if I had to pick games from today, like Spider-Man for the PS5,
For sure. Like that made like my short list. It was a great game. It was a wonderful game.
Like GTA 5
Mm-hmm.
was awesome. You're probably gonna roll your eyes, but Fortnite, like
no, yeah, no, like even me who like
it right now.
Yep. And Fort was killing it back in the day too. Like Fort everybody played Fortnite. I just kind of got over it, but that doesn't mean I didn't play it.
Like it to be honest, it was kind of tough to leave it off my list, but I just couldn't put it over any of these other games. But yeah, yep. Fortnite for sure.
That's how I felt about GTA 5.
Yeah.
Because it's such an influential game. Like, it's one of the best games ever made. and but I didn't play it as much as like all these other games. Doesn't mean I didn't play it a lot, just not as much as the other ones. NFL Blitz for the Nintendo 64, played that so much when I was a kid.
I don't think I played Blitz.
Okay. Tony Hawk, like,
Yes.
Underground and
Underground
all the
2,
all
that.
those
Yeah.
games. Love
You ever
those.
play Skate?
Oh yeah, Skate was a blast.
Skate was awesome, especially because they had Rob Deerdeck and Big Black in that
Yep.
game.
Yep.
Robin Big. Yep.
And then like I had some Nintendo games too that like I admittedly I haven't always been a big Nintendo guy. Like I think but also like I'm not gonna crap on Mario Kart or Super Mario or like Wii Sports because Wii Sports was so much fun.
Okay.
Um and then like Pokemon Fire Red to be more specific, that was my Pokemon
See,
game of choice.
I never tapped into Pokemon. That's one of those ones where I wish I could go back in time and see what all the hype was about because
Oh,
that's a
it was sick. Like there it was awesome. I played Fire Red, I played Sapphire, and then I played Platinum. So I didn't get into it as much as, everybody else did, but I still had, a little bit of a run there where I played a lot of Pokemon on the Game Boy. And then Hogwarts Legacy, I will shout out, not necessarily because I think it was like this, dynamite, amazing game, but just because it was something new that like we haven't really played before, and I think they executed the gameplay well. Wasn't a big fan of like the arcs of like the story of it, I'll be honest, but the combat felt awesome, and it was just nice to see Hogwarts, in a video game and like fly a
yeah.
broom. Like it was cool.
Did you have any movie video games that you enjoyed playing growing up?
Not that I can
Not really.
remember at least. Oh, well, because I had a Nintendo 64 before I had a PS2. Um, and I played, and this is one of the most famous 64 games of all time, but 007, like GoldenEye. I played that game a lot. But other than that, no, I don't think so.
Because I used to love Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, or like the Lego Star Wars games.
Mhm.
Those used to be so much fun. Or even
Oh, dog, we forgot about a big one.
Batman Arkham.
No, Star Wars Battlefront 2.
I didn't play it as much as other people growing up. I didn't play it until
Okay.
I was older.
Okay.
So it doesn't it it pains me to say it doesn't hold that place.
Gotcha.
And it probably would have if I played it as a kid. But yeah.
But no, the
That's
Arkham
classic
games
for
too.
sure.
The Arkham games, absolutely. Shout out to them.
I used to mess around. This is so out of left field for movie games, but when I got my Xbox 360, the game to come with the system was Kung Fu Panda.
Really?
Bro, that game was so much fun. And then on the GameCube, me and my or no, it was a PlayStation. Me and my homie who used to live in the apartment like across the street from me, we used to play Over the Hedge. Obviously, you know the movie Over the Hedge.
Oh, dude,
The
yeah, that game
game,
was sick
the game
too.
was amazing because you
Yes, it
could be
was.
you. It would just be you and your homie. You pick whatever animal character you want, and you would just go throughout the movie. Basically,
Yep.
it was a lot of fun, a lot of fun.
Shout out to Naruto Shinobi Striker.
Dude, that yeah.
We had some fun on that game. I don't think anybody would necessarily call that like a great game, but
Hey
it
man,
it definitely passed the time for a little bit. It was fun.
Naruto. Naruto, I that's another thing I wish I was into as a kid because like I just got into Naruto maybe like I don't know like 3 4 years ago,
Yeah.
and between watching the show and playing the games now, it's like, dang, I would have had a blast as a kid on these, bro. But
I one I did want to mention was do you have an Assassin's Creed game that you can think off the top of your head is your favorite?
yeah, it was one of the two that I've had played all the way through. Assassin's Creed 3.
Okay, okay. And then you said you played through Black Flag, right?
No, it
No,
was
you didn't.
the the Valhalla one.
Oh,
Yeah,
what a letdown. What a
dude.
freaking letdown.
Spoiler alert: the ending is so dumb.
Spoiler alert, the ending sucks.
Like you go through all that just for him to basically dap you up and send you on your way. Like I'm expecting a battle. Like let's go. I'm ready. Like
Thanks, dog.
run it.
Yep. Well, because that's what was in the trailer. The
Like
trailer
straight
was
up.
like this big final battle, and it was just dumb. Like it was just dumb the whole time.
Hmm.
The combat wasn't even cool. Nothing about it was cool.
Hold up. The I like the the Viking aspect of the game.
I did, but I didn't also. I feel like they didn't do it the way that I wanted them to do it, which was a little bit more grungy and like real. And I get
Okay.
that it's Assassin's Creed. I get that. But it was a little bit too goofy. Like when you think Vikings, you think like Ragnar Lothbrok. You think like those battle scenes in the shows, or like you think of, the Last Kingdom with like Uhtred and like this badass main character. Like Ivar was cool, but eh, like
It
eh.
it didn't help that you didn't have a lot of moments to really like create a
Nope.
legacy
Nope.
for him. Like you did, but you also didn't. I will say the visuals, like just the scenery, like when the sun would set in that game or the sun would rise in that game, beautiful.
Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful. But
It
yeah,
was,
that was a letdown for sure.
but the map was also so freaking big.
And it was like two maps, or I guess
Mm-hmm.
three, because you count
You count
freaking
the,
yeah.
yeah,
But
Asgard or whatever.
yeah, that was a letdown.
A huge letdown. But Assassin's Creed Odyssey is my favorite. And I know that
I never played that one, but I hear you and Don always talk about that one.
yeah, and I know that like I don't think that I don't think that it's one of those that like hardcore Assassin's Creed fans like because it's the open world versus like the linear kind of thing. I mean, they're all open world a little bit, but that this one you could do whatever the hell you wanted to do. But I it was just I downloaded it on a whim, and I was like, it's Assassin's Creed, so I'm sure it'll be fun. I ended up playing through the whole game, and I absolutely loved it. I was addicted to it.
That's
Um,
what's up.
yeah, that
The
was,
what you call it? So you didn't really get into like Nintendo games or anything like that, or like GameCube.
no, I never had a GameCube. Um, and I know I missed out on some stuff because of that for sure. I had buddies that had GameCubes or like relatives that had GameCubes, but like I don't necessarily remember it. Like I know that Sly Cooper was one of the games that I would play when I would go over to like a relative's house. And that was fun. But oh, and then like Pokemon, there were Pokemon games for the GameCube too that
Hmm.
were like a little bit more like in depth and more of a game than obviously you can get on a Game Boy. But no, I liked the Mario. Like I always liked Mario. I never got into like the Mario Party or anything, but I had
Mario
a
Party 8, bro. Oh my gosh, go hard.
I had a Wii.
Hmm.
Played a lot of like the Wii bowling and Wii tennis and all that stuff. I had Black Ops 1 for the Wii because like I had a PlayStation also,
Hmm.
but like my account was hacked on the Wii, so I just got everything. And I think I was in a clan. Like I met like this team in a game, and
He was he was
I ended
planned
up
up on the Wii.
I can't even remember what our name was. Like yeah, no, I have no I cannot remember like what the name of the
Man,
clan was, but
that is funny.
because you could get like a game controller on the Wii. Like you could,
Yeah.
so that's what I would play COD on.
Man. I just remember like on the Nintendo stuff, like Mario Kart or
Oh, Mario
Smash
Kart.
Bros.
I cannot believe I didn't say either of those. Mario Kart and Smash Bros. Loved those games.
Or those
Loved them
things,
so much.
bro. Or even like on the GameCube, I used to play Sonic a lot.
Okay.
Sonic was another one that I wish I could have put on my lists. Um, I had these demo discs that would sometimes come with the games. I think it came with one of the Sonic games. There's a game called Beautiful Joe, where it was kind of like a Mario style, where you have to just go through each level and fight these different things and collect these different things. Soul Calibur was another one of those demo games that I played. Soul Calibur was cool. It was almost like a Mortal Kombat fighting game.
Mortal Kombat, I think is either Mortal Kombat X or Mortal Kombat 11. I actually like a year ago played through the whole story. I've never been a big Mortal Kombat guy because it's hard, like it's really hard, and I played through the whole thing and it was actually a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
I have one of the Mortal Kombat's because it was a free game on PS
Yep.
Plus, but I haven't even tapped in really.
Shout out to PS Plus, just loading my PlayStation storage with games that I'm
Dude,
actually never gonna play.
my library is hilarious because it's
Mine is too.
games that I'm just never gonna touch. Trying to think what else though. On the
I can.
PS1, they had like a Star Wars Mortal Kombat style game that you could play. That was really cool. It was like Mortal
Okay.
Kombat but with Star Wars characters.
Oh,
Amazing.
gotcha. Gotcha.
Um, there's a Spider-Man. There's two Spider-Man games for the PS1 that I used to play religiously.
PS2 had some good Spider-Man games too.
Yes, they did. And all these Spider-Man games, again, wish I could have put them on my list, but just couldn't. But yeah, like the all the Spider-Man games up until Spider-Man 2 for the PS2, the movie game, you couldn't like go on the street or anything. Like if you
Yeah,
fell
yeah.
from web slinging, you were done. You were dead. But
Mhm.
then they dropped Spider-Man 2, the movie game, and you could go and deliver pizzas and all this other crazy stuff on there. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, I love those games. I think trying to see if I missed anything.
I um
UFC, we play.
yeah, UFC like I played a lot of UFC. I've also played a lot of Overwatch too. I just like they weren't gonna make my list. Like
Mhm.
Overwatch was mostly, like my dad had it and he's really good at it, and then I got into it, and then I had a couple of buddies like Patty. He played, so we all kind of got into it. It worked for a little bit, but to say it's like one of my favorite games, no.
And then NCAA, like football or basketball, those are always
NCAA.
games to play.
I remember NCAA 08 and NCAA 11 were the two that I played pretty heavy. Um, the college basketball games, I never really like. I think I had one or I rented one of the two, and I really liked it. I didn't play it as much as some other stuff.
Hmm. Yeah, that's a good list of games, I would say. I know we're definitely missing a ton, but
Oh, absolutely. What did we miss? Let us know.
hmm for sure, for sure. But, all right, man. I'm about ready to get up out of here.
Yeah.
That was fun.
It
Good little
was
top
fun.
10. Of
Absolutely.
not
Absolutely.
little, a good long top 10, I should
Yeah.
say.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let us know what you think. As always, please like, comment, subscribe, share, tell your friends' friends, tell your mom's friends, tell everybody's friends to come give us a listen over here at Allegedly Adults. You can follow us on TikTok and Instagram. And Steve, you got anything for the people?
Nah, not really. See ya.
Good night, my friend.
Deuces.